Yeah. So anywho, I had I remember building like the plastic models. You have to glue all the little parts together. I was really into kind of doing that quite a bit. Um, I had Hot Wheels. I wanted to be a truck driver when I was a kid. Um, so I used to watch BJ and the Bear uh, when we were kids. He had a red and white, cab over like a Kenworth cab over truck, and I think I had a model of that, if I remember correctly. I used to do some like customizing of them because I think I had like a John Force funny car, and I think I had a General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard car, uh, but I think I painted it black or something. I think I had like a Trans Am too, and I took the engine from the funny car, big blower. Hey, knock it off. Um, I took the engine out of the funny car, with a big old blower, supercharger on it, and I put it in the Trans Am, cut a hole in the hood, and had it down inside there. The the General Lee, I think I had painted it black. It was a '69 Charger or something like that, and I think I painted it black for some reason. But I remember being into Hot Wheels. There was a since I wanted to be a truck driver, there was these like Hot Wheel semi trucks, and they had trailers attached to them, and they had a little wheel on the back of the trailer that you could steer basically the front of it. And I remember having those, a bunch of them, and especially when we were at Pacifica, because I remember Pacifica had four community buildings, um, and so the four buildings. One was the kitchen and like dining hall. It was the center one. The one, if you're looking at it, the left one, I think it had been like a jewelry making classroom or something. The one on the right, I think, had some sort of like library or books. I remember they grew weed up on top on the roof or something, and then the one that was below that was where uh, it was like a meditation area. Because me and Auntie, I remember when there was a Japanese monk that used to come, and he would have these meditation sessions or something. I don't know what you would call them, but he would allow us to serve the tea and cookies. In return, we got cookies. So like when they were doing their, everybody's doing meditation, and we either before or after, right? They would have tea and cookies or something, and so we'd serve them, and then you had to be quiet and stuff, and then we would get cookies in return. And I remember the Japanese guy. One time, me and Auntie, we went around looking for donations. I don't know if I talked about this before, but to get pizza. And so I remember the Japanese monk guy giving us $20, and that was the most we'd gotten. And we found somebody that would take us down. Actually, it was Mr. Magoo's Pizza down in Los Gatos at Highway 9 and Main Street. Took us down there that evening to get, and we had pizza, and then the guy needed gas to get us back, because it was probably 30 or 40-minute drive out of where the commune was all the way down to Los Gatos, and he needed gas. And then I remember he got gas at I think it was a Chevron there next to Alpha Beta there, and he didn't have enough money to pay for the gas. And I remember he had to leave his like driver's license to come back and pay it off. And it was just me and Auntie and him, and we had gone to the Mr. Magoo's Pizza and stuff. Uh, yeah, good times. But anyhow, so when we were in commune by the kitchen, I used to the Hot Wheels with the semi trucks. I used to carve out little dirt roads in the dirt and play with those semi trucks. You know, we'd go up a dirt road and stuff. And I remember at some point, I think somebody, it was towards the end of our time there, and somebody dumped all my Hot Wheels. There was like berry bushes, you know, with thorns and shit down below the kitchen area, and somebody had tossed them all inside the berry bush or something like that. I vaguely remember my Hot Wheel collection. I think I had like a case that I used to put them in or something. You know, I had a little toolbox with a hammer and saw and stuff too. That I think Dennis Booth, Captain Clipper's barber, mom's boyfriend, had bought me. Yeah, and I think we left it underneath the kitchen, you know, the deck. You know, it was on a hillside, and so it was probably 30 feet up from the railing and stuff. So it was all open underneath and stuff. What other toys? I had remote control cars. I had a Hot Shot and a Hornet. Hot Shot was 4-wheel drive. The Hornet was rear-wheel drive. They were kits. You had to build them yourself. So I remember having them on the kitchen table, and I don't remember Dad helping me build them much. I think I was doing most of it myself. There's probably a few things where he had to help me or something with, but yeah. And I don't remember any other real toys. I remember Brad and Ruth had gone to Japan because, you know, after Brad retired, he worked at Ames Research, you know, working on NASA stuff. And when he retired, he went and did some work for the Japanese aerospace program, and they brought me back. Lisa got a Komodo. Is that what you call it? The Japanese robe. I remember she had that for years. Actually, I think I still have it. One of Granddad's guns, I think I keep wrapped up in her Komodo. If is that correct term? But anyway, they had brought me back some sort of little toy thing, and it shot missiles or something. Some sort of sci-fi thing. You know, it was, you know, Godzilla was big back then and stuff like that. But it was something that it was almost like a transformer. I think back in the day, I think you could make it into a car, or it would stand up as a person, and it had a little little plastic missiles that would shoot off or something like that. Yeah, I can't think of any. I'm trying to think of what other toys I would have had. I don't really remember. You know, we had the swimming pool and there, and so if we weren't riding our bikes or that stuff, we were summertime. We were swimming. Me and Auntie were always swimming. Claudia's sister Chris taught us how to swim at Brad and Ruth's house, because Brad and Ruth had a swimming pool. I remember I was too scared to try swimming by myself, so I would hang on to the side and just go. Their swimming pool was bean shaped, and I would hang off the side and walk all the way around inside the swimming pool, and to the point where it rubbed the skin off my toes from holding. My feet would be on the side of the concrete, inside the water, and wear off the skin, and then and so I was always too scared to let go, and then one time in San Jose at the house, because we had a doughboy with a wooden deck around it. So it sat up above, I think it was 3 feet high, and then it had a wooden deck around like 3/4 of it, and it had a wooden railing, and it had a shallow end and a deep end. And so I think I was the part without the decking. It must have been just like a 2x4 or something on the top, and so sometimes we'd walk on there. And so I was walking on there, and Grandpa pushed me in, because I was too scared to swim, and he I think I too scared to swim. I was, John was up on the deck. John had to jump in and save me. And I just remember, I think after that I was swimming after that. And I always gave Grandpa a hard time, saying that was when Grandpa tried drowning me. And he'd always, even until he passed away, I knew you could swim. You was too freaking scared to swim. And yeah, good times. We used to dive off the railing into the deep end part of the swimming pool when we were kids. Probably not the safest. I remember we used to get splinters from the wood decking. I don't know if it was like redwood, but it wasn't treated or anything, so it was always rough. You seemed to always get splinters, and I just remember me and Auntie would burn our names and stuff with a magnifying glass onto the decking. We'd also find ants and use the magnifying glass to burn the ants with the magnifying glass. I think we used to do our names on the wood with the magnifying glass. We didn't freaking burn the place down. Right, Max? We could burn the place down. Yeah. Toys. Yeah, I remember my bike. We used to ride our bikes everywhere. Well, it wasn't John and Lisa. It was me and my friends. We would ride our bikes freaking everywhere. Pretty far away from our house in San Jose. We went all over the hills. We went up Quimby. We were all over the place on our bikes, finding jumps. It's all houses now, but when they were building houses, it was always step terraces, and so we used to use those steps. It was all dirt steps, and we'd use those as riding places. One part, a bunch of other neighborhood kids, we were doing it was our little BMX track. I think somebody had built like a small starting gate and stuff like that. And then I think we used to take our remote control cars out there too. Huh. Interesting. If I remember any more toys, I'll I'm trying to think. I'm having brain fade on what other toys. I don't remember having any other toys. We'd watch TV. We had a little tiny 13-inch. I don't know if it might have been color. We used to watch Friday night videos back when was it Michael Jackson maybe? Maybe before Michael Jackson. Hi.
Hi, it's almost done.
Breakfast? Okay. Like 5 minutes? Or less? Huh?
10.
Oh, okay. What's the story of how they came to you? Talked about that. I don't remember toys. So I used to have a collection of little die-cast antique cars, and I don't know where they went. I had a suspicion Patrick has them, and maybe they were in when when I moved out of our apartment in San Jose, you know, we had a garage. Lisa's stuff laid in the garage, and I think they were in a box in there because I don't have them, and some of them were granddad's, and also, but some were mine too. And you know, Gamar used to take us to Aptos. You know, we would spend most like major, if we had like a week off from school during the year, like Easter break, stuff like that. I think we would spend it in Watsonville with Gamma and Granddad, and it would be me, John, Lisa, and Steph was there most of the time, and we would. She would take us shopping, either at Ford's department store in Watsonville or Capitola Mall. But there was also there was a toy store in Aptos, and they sold die-cast cars, and I remember we go there quite a bit. It's funny, Gamar would, you know, they had the Rabbit, the Volkswagen Rabbit, the brown one at that point, and you know, Gamar would drive us, and Granddad would stay at home. He didn't want to be around our brats. And you know, there's the big long between Watsonville and Santa Cruz. There's right out of Watsonville. There's the big hill. So you get on the freeway right at the top of the hill, and you go down, and it's steep. And she'd be doing like almost 80 miles an hour, and we say, Gamar, you can't go on fast. Yeah, good times. I still remember I think it was me and John I remember being there there was a Volkswagen dealership in Gilroy where they bought it, and he traded in, they had a Volkswagen Squareback. They traded that in and got the Volkswagen Rabbit, and I remember me and John playing, I think it was John, playing in it in the showroom. And I remember going on a test drive with Granddad and in it, and then you know, it took a couple of hours while they, you know, did the paperwork and stuff like that. But I remember I think it was me and John. We were like playing with the radio or something, and sitting in the car in the showroom with the Rabbit, and then you rode in the Rabbit because after they sold Watsonville, I drove the Rabbit for years, and then I finally sold it. You know, I think it was probably in Grandpa's name, and so I had the Rabbit. I had Granddad's truck. I had my car. I had the Bug. I wish I still had the Bug, but anyhow, that's all the toys I remember. Max, do you remember your toys? Yeah, the monkey, the alpaca. Yeah, those are your favorite. So, what's the next one? What type of games did you enjoy playing with your friends, siblings, or on your own? You know, Brandon Ruth had bought me, John, Lisa, the original Atari when we were kids, and we used to play that with Pong on it. We used to play that. We used to play cards quite a bit, I think, and like Monopoly, Sorry, that sort of thing. I think we used to play, I think me and John would play like football quite a bit. We had these little, and I still have one, a little handheld soccer game. I think I still have one of them. I think we had two, and I think I still have one. And last time I checked, I think it still worked. I don't know what box it's in, but I had that. And all right, be there in a minute. And so we had Atari. You know, Brad taught me and Lisa how to play tennis. and because we would spend summers, at Brad and Ruth's house, because Claudia was working at Los Altos Library, and so she would go to work and just drop us off at Brad and Ruth's, which wasn't very far away. I actually one time I rode my bike from their house to the library. Yes, I heard ya. Thank you. And he would take us to go play tennis, and it was probably frustrating for Brad because we were brat kids and shit. And I remember one time, he trying to teach us, and he hit the ball to us, and I choked up on it was like I was playing baseball and hit a home run, and it went over the freaking fence of it, and over there was like a house, and went in their yard, and I remember him just like being all frustrated. But hey, I made a home run. I got stopped because my breakfast is done, and the SBS is acting up, and so I have to pee again. All right. I'll be back though.